All right, we're gonna start this out today. This is a set of ported and polished 416 305 heads I'm gonna put on the motor I'm building, and I was gonna show you this. I gotta install these valve springs. These are I think they're jigs. Anyway, they're a roller cam. You gotta install them at 1/800. Anyway, this one right here is reading at one basically 1/895. And with 1/895, our problem is this insert goes in here 140 thousandths. So let me sit here and figure this in my head real quick. So we're going to take it down to 100,000. So we're looking at 795 minus 40. We're looking at 755 now. That would be the installed height. And I've got to go up. And I want to say, when I checked this one here checked my intake. I think all of my intakes on here I've installed at 185 or 190. So if I can just get this close to 185, 190, I'm gonna let it go, But so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to I'm gonna show you. I bought this too. It's for Vortex, but it'll work here. This thing's 133,000, 1.340 or something like that. Anyway, and it's got the same inside as this little spring keeper that you spring sit down in there and keep them flopping back and forth. So it's doing that, and this will cut that. And I'm going to cut this enough deepness to get my clearance, and I'll be back. Anyhow, I got to put this together because it comes from comp, but this is a Howard's to do your stems, seals and stuff, So I'm going to take the stem out and put it in this one. All right, I'll be back. Anyway, let's look at this tube. Which way am I going? It's slow right now. I don't know why. Anyway, this tube goes together, and it goes right there where that valve is. I'm just going to knock the valve back. And you can see where I done machined on it some. I marked it with a magic marker right here where it'd be black, where I can machine it just a little bit and make sure I'm even kind of going around it. But it'll machine that pad so that I'll be able to put that spring back in there. See, that spring locator goes right in there, see? And that's what I was telling you. That center, it cuts. It's cutting it right now. That center fits right in that spring. And, which these are negative locks anyway, because I was trying to set them up on these heads. These heads normally set up from 1/700 to 1/750, so I put a negative in the exhaust. No, I put a +50 on the exhaust because it's too short. No, it's standard. Yeah, I'm thinking. Put standard in the exhaust, and I took the shims out, and that gave it just about right. It'll either be 2 inches or 2 inches and 5 thousandths. But all the exhaust was around 1/785, so this one here was way off. So I machined it some, so I'm going to machine it some more in a minute. Anyway, this is basically how it goes on here and turns around and cuts. Anyway, I'm going to cut some more. Well, anyway, I got it cut down, and I got it right there where the other ones was, like 1/785. So, I'm not trying to machine all these down with this hand drill just to fix this one. That's all I'm doing. But anyhow, I edit this together, and it did raise up. Might have about 5,000 more. It might be 790 now. So it's right there in the middle between 85 and 90. The mic, you can tighten it up a little bit. It'll go. But anyway, we'll put it together, clean this off, and clean all this junk up that I done, and put it back together, and we'll be done with this one. Alright, boys and girls. Here we're going to show you how much valve lift we can get out of these old heads. By machining 100 thousandths down off your oil seal right here, 100,000 there, and then machine this pad down so that I got clearance like the rest of them. My install height is, I think it's 1.785. Anyhow, 1.785. So this is the height that you could get on your camshaft for the lift right there. That right there is 780. So you take about 100,000 off it, and you could get a 680 lift cam in here. Theoretically, you know, before it bounced out, but I doubt that because my springs are only good for 550 anyway. So, well, they're 570s, and I'm taking 20,000, 15,000 off the top right there. So, these installed at about 90 pounds. They 90 pounds at 1/800. So I shouldn't see a whole lot of difference. All my intakes being 1.785 and 15,000. It shouldn't be but just a couple pounds, maybe 100, 105 on the seat on them, and then all the exhaust to be around 90. So, you know, so that's pretty good. I had to shim all the exhaust 60 thousandths and use a standard keeper, and well, it's a 787-16, I think Comp makes. That's the keeper, and then the locks are just standard. They're not negative or plus or nothing. And then on here you don't use any shim, and this is the same retainer as this one, and your keepers are plus 50, but you lose right here on the end of your tip. It's not as thick as on the exhaust, so you got to watch your rocker arm. Don't you put any Vortex rocker arms on it, or you might hit your keeper. But you can use a roller tip rocker right there, no problem. And I'll put to install it some more. But anyhow, I just pried that old seal off. It's never been used, and I knocked it back on there with a 12mm, I guess. And I'm put to install it. I was just checking everything. I might check the height one more time. I'll be back. Anyway, for the record, the installed height on here right now, not including that 140 dip in there, is 1925, 27 and a half, something like that. So if we just say 100 from that is 825, 1825, and then you take 40 away from it, that's going to leave us 25 negative 15. So we're going to be 785, like I was talking about. 1.785. I know, don't go by my math, man. I do stuff out loud and I'm crazy. But we're going to put it together now and be done with it. Thank y'all. Anyway, she's back together. So just take your ball peen hammer and tap your valves on the end, you know. Except not like me being done. And when you tap on them, you know, just make sure your keepers are seated good and everything. That's the only way I'm doing it. But I'm in the shed doing it, so, you know, whatever. But if you're in the South, you understand. These heads ain't been long out of the bag working on them. And dirt daubers has done found my dadgum exhaust port. So I got to get these cleaned up and put back in the bag. Anyway, see you.